Hey, howdy, howdy. I'm in a different place here. Life is a little bit of chaos right now, dealing with some family stuff, but I want to get these videos out. I know it's important for YouTube on consistency, as well as, hey, it's good sometimes when life even gets busy to still make time for yourself to rest and relax. And for me, have a little bit of that creative output. So, a little bit of a different type of video today. I do have big two to go over. Did not get to do the big two talk last week. So, I'll cover a few books I read last week, as well as the books that I read this week. I hope you can hear me okay. Like this video if you like this video. I'm going to cover the big two today, and hopefully, if I can finish up some indies, I'll cover those tomorrow. But for now, let me switch the camera over and let's talk about the big two books that I read this week. All right, so let's talk big two. Quick highlights on what I read last week. Daredevil and Punisher #5. I really like this book, and I hope I don't make y'all too dizzy because I am remote and I didn't bring the right tripod, so I don't have a hook for my phone. So I'm holding it myself. But anyways, I really like this. I think this was a great ending to this Devil's Trigger art. The art continues to be fantastic. I'm going to come at a little bit of an angle so the light doesn't reflect too bad. Really good action. I don't know why Daredevil, when they do panels like this, I love that. Like the little actions. It's almost like playing the $6 Million Man sound in my head. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, great action, really cool ending with the Daredevil and Punisher. Really enjoyed this. I like Jimmy Palmiotti's writing when he does Daredevil and Punisher. I think he does really good stuff with that. So really enjoyed that. I would highly recommend the trade. I got the third reprint of the DC All In because I still haven't read it. The only thing I knew about this book was from Comics Explained video. So I'm glad that I got to read it and experience it. It definitely reads a lot better than a Comics Explained video. And especially reading it after DC KO #5, kind of put a little, it's kind of like a nice little look back at where we came from and where we've been. So I really like that. I thought it was cool. Although it does showcase some absolute heroes on the cover, there are no absolute heroes in this book. It's the start of the absolute universe, basically. And then I read DCKO #5. This has been talked about to death, so I won't cover too much about it other than I really enjoyed it. It did, not hit the mark when it comes to this being a tournament, like a bracketed tournament. This was really just a story. It could have been a story. The tournament ended up actually, at least the bracket part of it ended up being a non-issue or a non-thing. But this final issue is very cosmic. It's very death metal like. I think death metal. So I can still confuse it sometimes. But yeah, so we get Cosmic Superman versus Darkseid. They have this insane battle here. It's I think it's fantastic. They battle through reality, they battle through time, they battle basically like all the way back to the Big Bang. You can see here they're like time traveling as Superman's trying to avoid Darkseid taking over everything. I really enjoyed it. And there's one panel here that I think looks the best, and it's like Cosmic Superman in all his cosmic awesomeness. And it might be this page, it's not this page, but anyways, really, really enjoyed DCKO #5. Was it the best ending? No, but I liked that it closed. It was the book end, or I guess it was the final chapter of a book in which there's another book coming shortly. So I think it's good. I like the long form. Let's tell an entire story over a few years rather than Marvel, which is just let's tell a story over a few months and then everything is back the way it was, except one thing is different. This one is really like a universe altering thing that a battle has been won or a battle has been saved and avoided, but the war itself is not over. So I'm enjoying that. I like that. It's not, I wouldn't call that decompressed, but I would call it strategically long form storytelling. And I like that. I think that's what comics excel at the most. All right, looking at the books this week, first, I want to touch on Comics the Magazine. I enjoyed this. I love the letters to the editor because I was a big fan of Chip Zdarsky's Z Magazine. Let me see if I can fix my camera here. It seems to be a little blurry. There we go. And this is like a little funny letter to the editor because Z Magazine is no longer in print or no longer being done. Now they're doing Comics the Magazine. So that was a funny little thing here. I heard that this ad, actually, that's a real number you can call. And there's actually something that happens. So I definitely check that out. 912-646-3646. I read a little bit of this. I just kind of scanned through the Nick Dragotta interview. This is like behind the scenes stuff. I think, it's nice to be there if you want to read it. Read a little bit about the absolute Catwoman. Let's see here. I enjoyed the little comic shorts in here. But like I said, I didn't read everything, but I did read the stuff that interested me. So like these introductions to these new DC Next Level writers here was pretty good read. Didn't read the Blood version and stuff there. I read this, the history of their zines. At first, I was like, "Oh man, why didn't they put Rip the Zine on here?" But I guess technically that's not a fan zine because it's produced uh, by the company. I don't know. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And let me tell you, for $3, this is a great price point. I think it was $3. I'm gonna tell him to pull it and tell him to go ahead and, yeah, $3. Go ahead and do it because I thought it was really enjoyable and it was fun. And it's a nice little break. Nice little break from, you can't get online without reading an article and then reading everyone's arguments about how it's the worst ever, and it just gets frustrating. So this is nice just to have a nice neutral um, magazine articles to read. I thought that was cool. All right, let's go on to Marvel. I read two Marvel books this week. I read Jessica Jones's Alias and Hulk Smash Everything #4. So first, let's talk about Jessica Jones' Alias. This is written by Seth Humphrey, illustrated by, I can't remember his first name, Borges. We'll find the credit page here soon. Overall, this just didn't resonate with me. I liked the first Alias. I got the trade of the first Alias run, and I did like it. I think the art is kind of nice here, but overall, the story itself, I think it's an interesting idea, but it's not enough for me to like commit to something that, um, uh, I just is a character that is not on my A list, right? I'm sure a lot of people have A list characters. This scene here, I didn't really care for. It's just them couple bickering, and Luke Cage is not really being like the man of the relationship, not handling being mayor, and being a husband at the same time. Also, this lady, Typhoid Mary, I think she's fine, but she also reminds me of that Russian doll actress, which almost seems a little too uncanny, too like almost like they're like, well, we want the Russian doll lady to be Typhoid Mary, so make Typhoid Mary look like her. And she kind of talks like her, but maybe I'm reading into that. Overall, I don't think it was a bad book, but it's definitely a not for me book. So I did pull it because I always pull assuming I'm gonna like it, and then I'm actually gonna be removing it because again, it just did not resonate with me too much, and that's more of a me thing. So if you liked it, let me know. Also, probably more of a me thing. Hulk Smash Everything. Man, this is such a joy. This is issue #4. This is by Ryan North, illustrated by Vincenzo Caratu, and man, really, really cool stuff. So basically, this is, if you know World War Hulk or Planet Breaker Hulk, this is like Cosmic Breaker Hulk, because he overcame a black hole in issue 3, and now he's back on Earth. And the leader and Doctor Strange have to figure out how to summon the Avengers to take care of the Hulk. And this was just such a fun issue. I thought it was really cool. It obviously takes place in an alternate universe because we've got, older version of Iron Man here. Doctor Strange is a Sorcerer Supreme. So I really enjoyed this, man. This is so cool. And they have to do more sci-fi gobbledygook. They try to teleport him into, like, if you remember within, I can't remember which one it was, in the movies, MCU, where Doctor Strange like teleported Loki, and Loki was falling for 45 minutes straight or whatever that joke was. I don't know. It kind of like that. He kind of gets put in a situation like that. And the Hulk, of course, has to Hulk his way out of it. It's just stupid, dumb fun. It's exactly what a comic book I think should be for a miniseries. Just let's have fun. I have a story idea. Let's just run with it. I am super enjoying this one. And again, some people don't like Ryan North. I like Ryan North more often than I don't. This, I think Ryan North is having fun, and it shows. Hulk Smash Everything. I really enjoy. If you're not getting the singles, definitely get the trade because it is a fun, fun read. All right, on to DC. I read 3 DC books this week. Emperor Aquaman. I don't like that they changed the title to Emperor Aquaman. It's Aquaman. It's not a new book. It's Emperor Aquaman. So anyways, this is by Jeremy Adams and John Timms, I think. Is that his name? Let's see here. Yeah, John Timms on art. Man, the art here is beautiful. So it takes place a little bit in this kind of like escape realm or whatever, where Aquaman, his persona gets split into 3 in this dreamscape or whatever, and old wise Aquaman has to find young naive Aquaman, and they have to meet middle-aged Aquaman. It's kind of interesting. But then they come back to the real world, and Aquaman basically, it's almost like a moment like Daddy's home. So Mira and her mom are having this battle, and Aquaman's like, I have it handled. And it really is that. It really is like Daddy's home moment. Aquaman just handles it. I think that's pretty cool. I can see how that can rub some people the wrong way, but I thought it was pretty cool. And then he kisses his wife, Again, Daddy's home, and it was so cool. The art in this is fantastic. This was a really fun read. It set up a little something that's concerning. Slight spoiler alert. I know we're already looking at interior, but I'm not a fan of cosmically increasing a planetary power. For example, Storm. She can not only control weather now, but now she's like a literal god, and she can control cosmic storms. I watched the Comics Explained videos on the new Storm series, and it got kind of over. She kind of got overpowered too quickly, I think. And I'm afraid that's kind of where they're going, where he's no longer king of Atlantis, but he's emperor over all the universe's oceans or something. I don't know. I hope Jeremy Adams can do it better than whoever's writing Storm. That it makes more sense and it's more enjoyable. That's the only thing that concerns me. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed that one. So that's a great read. Absolute Batman, I don't think I enjoyed as much as everyone else. This is Absolute Batman issue 18. This was written by Snyder, but illustrated by Eric Canetti, who's doing a fantastic job as a fill-in artist on this. This one, my only issue, I don't know if it's an art issue or a writing issue, but it seems like a lot of these panels here are more pinups and less to do with actually what's happening. It's just like, hey, Batman, just kill some things, and like that's fine, but it doesn't really have a flow. And that's continued to be interrupted by these flashbacks to Poison Ivy's origin story, and then flash sideways to Martha and Wayne's friends. It does stand out as a 2-issue series, but again, like this is just kind of doesn't really have anything to do with what's happening. Like the last issue was him fighting through things, fighting through plants and animals and getting to Poison Ivy. Now it's just like, hey, just Canetti draw some cool fight scenes, and then we'll just put some irrelevant or non-related word bubbles on top of it. So that's what it read like to me. And then again, we got the Flash Sideways here with Martha. So I think it was a cool story, 2-arc story or 2-issue arc. That's what I'm trying to say. And then we get this random thing with the Joker. Again, it's just kind of all over the place a little bit. But other than that, I mean, the art is fantastic. I think the story is good. I like kind of the stuff that we're planting. Again, utilizing comics' strength by planting long form stories here. Like we're at issue 18 and we're still talking about like what the deal with Martha is. That was teased all the way back in like issue 2 or 4. So I'm enjoying it. But again, this is probably one of my least favorite Absolute Batman issues. And that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments. And then finally, I read Action Comics. This is by Mark Waid, illustrated by, I can't remember. I should really look these things up before I start the video. Skylar Partridge. Really enjoyed this one. Again, I love tiny, whiny stories. And this one, when it was titled Effect and Cause, I was like, heck yes. And basically, Superman is dealing with like time, cause and effect working backwards. So people are clapping, but the sound doesn't come till later. A balloon pops, the sound pop. A balloon sounds like it's popping before it actually pops. And they're tasting ice cream before they eat it. It's like this weird, like the effect is coming before the cause. And we had this cool thing where like he's just like all of a sudden in his costume, but no trouble has happened. So he's like, the cause is trouble, and then Superboy changes. Well, this time he gets changed out of nowhere, and then the cause comes later. But what really was awesome with this, and my panel of the week, was we get a montage here of Superboy trying to figure out what's happening, but he's also saving people across Metropolis. Because again, at this point, he lives in Smallville, but he's visiting Metropolis, and he gets to save all the people in large towns. And we get these like 4 pages of just Superboy being heroic. He's rescuing kids, he's stopping robbers. But my favorite panel here is he's like starting to panic, and he has to remember something that Ma Kent told him was, take it one thing at a time, one day at a time. Don't get overwhelmed by the big picture. And I love this where, again, he's saying one thing at a time. So he's going to save one person at a time. He rescues a woman he rescues a woman's purse that's getting robbed. But I love this one. For some reason, this panel spoke to me. You got a man who's obviously abusing a woman. I don't know if it's his wife or daughter or whatever. But Superboy broke through the window. Hopefully he broke through the window. Yeah, because the glass shards are in the inside. And he stands there heroically, and he's got this look on his face like, stop. Like, man, I love that stuff. I love it when superheroes are superheroes. And Mark Waid, don't like the guy as much as you don't want to. I've never interacted with him. I don't follow him on Twitter for this reason. He writes a great Superboy or Superman. And he saves up, right after he saves a puppy from being robbed. So I really enjoyed that one. And then at the end, we get the setup for the next arc, which is where I think the reign of the Superboys comes into play. So Just not even a spoiler because it's on the cover, but you know, it's Booster Gold is sitting there next to Superboy. So that has something to do with the arc being set up. This was fantastic. I really enjoyed this one. And it's definitely one of my top 3 reads of the week, which are going to be Action Comics 1096, Emperor Aquaman, and Hulk Smash Everything. Top 3 reads of the week. These were so much fun. Every one of these is like what I think comics should be. As far as my favorites, though, I'm going to go Emperor Aquaman number 3. I'm going to go Hulk Smash Everything number 2. And my absolute favorite read of the week was Action Comics 1096. Again, this is the epitome of what American comics needs to look like, read like, and the stories that they need to be telling. But that's it for here. Thank you guys for watching, and especially putting up with less than quality audio and video. Let me know what you guys are reading, what you thought of these books if you read them. Subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Adios.